We've been talking for an hour. We just can't
Okay, so I've
find
been
the
using
end. We
iPhone
won't
11 Pro Max
understand.
for about a week. It's my upgrade from the iPhone XS Max that I was using before. This is just my video in 2022 to see if iPhone 11 Pro Max is worth buying in 2022. I picked it up over iPhone XS Max for battery improvements and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to let you know what my experience has been like using iPhone 11 Pro Max and would I recommend buying it in 2022. Okay, so if I start with the display of iPhone 11 Pro Max, you get a 6.5-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, which supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision. So of course, content consumption on iPhone 11 Pro Max still to this day is going to be really, really great. It's a really nice color accurate display with a maximum brightness of 800 nits on your manual slider. But if you're outside, it will boost up to 1200 nits. So outdoor visibility is really good. The downside, of course, is it doesn't come with a high refresh rate display. You're just stuck with a 60 Hertz panel. But for me personally, it's not a big deal. Switching from a 90 or 120 Hertz display on an Android phone, going back down to a 60 Hertz on the iPhone, I don't really notice. I mean, it's still really smooth and responsive to use thanks to that A13 Bionic chip. So I've got no complaints with regards to the display. Yeah, nothing. And at the top of the display, of course, you get the standard iPhone notch, which houses all your Face ID sensors, which are going to be slightly improved and a bit faster than iPhone XS Max from the year before. And then you get an upgraded 12 megapixel selfie camera, which can support 4K video at up to 60 FPS, which is an upgrade from just the 1080p on iPhone XS Max as well. So nice improvements in terms of the Face ID and the selfie camera, and then the Super Retina XDR OLED display, which is an improvement over iPhone XS Max as well. You get an all glass and stainless steel design of the iPhone 11 Pro, like what you found on XS Max as well. But on the back, you get a more matte finish, which is more resistant to fingerprints over iPhone XS Max and even standard iPhone 11, which had a glossy back and then a matte finish around the camera housing, whereas it's the opposite on the Pros. And then of course you get that color matching stainless steel around the outside, which gives it a bit of weight to it. I think it's about 230 grams, iPhone 11 Pro Max. So it is a little bit heavier, and it is of course heavier than iPhone XS Max because of that bigger battery as well. So build of iPhone 11 Pro Max is really premium, nothing short of what you'd expect from a high-end Apple product. As for performance on iPhone 11 Pro Max, you get Apple's new, at the time, A13 Bionic processor built on a 7nm plus fabrication. The A13 boasted 20% more power and a whopping 40% more power efficiency over the A12 found in the iPhone XS Max. So that, coupled with the 25% larger 3969 mAh battery inside iPhone 11 Pro Max, should equate to really amazing performance and some really good battery life as well. And RAM and storage, you get one RAM option of just 4GB, but you get 64, 256 or 512 gigabytes of internal storage. I've got 64GB here. It's plenty enough for me. Most of my stuff is stored on the iCloud, but if you're someone that shoots a lot of 4K video, you're going to want to go for at least 256 or even push for the 512GB model. And as I said briefly before, the iPhone 11 Pro Max comes with a large 3969 mAh battery, which is a 25% increase over the 3174 mAh found on the iPhone XS Max. And that was one of the biggest complaints of the iPhone XS series, was the rather mediocre battery performance. When I had my XS Max, it was alright, it'd get me through a full day on a weekend, but at work I would struggle to get through a day. Whereas on iPhone 11 Pro Max, I'm easily getting 2 days over the weekend, and then whilst I'm at work, I can get through a full day no problem, and sometimes go into a second day with around 40%. So no problems at all with iPhone 11 Pro Max's battery. I'm on 92% battery health, so theoretically I'm probably on 35 milliamp hours in the real world of capacity, but it's still getting me through a full day and then some. So I've also got a 20-watt Anker charger as well, which does seem to top up the 11 Pro Max pretty quickly. 50% in around half an hour, I think, are what the official numbers, and I am getting roughly that from that charger. So it's not doing too bad. So in terms of battery performance from iPhone 11 Pro Max, I've got zero complaints, and I think people will struggle to find any complaints today unless of course for some reason you downgrade from a 13 Pro Max to an 11 Pro Max, then you'll complain. But if you're going from an older model, there won't be any complaints. And lastly, I just want to quickly talk about the triple camera system found on the back of iPhone 11 Pro Max. In case you noticed, I've put my phone back in the Spigen case that I've always bought for my iPhones. Great case if anyone wants one. But yeah, triple camera system on iPhone 11 Pro Max. 3 12 megapixel sensors, an f1.8 primary, an f2.0 telephoto, a bigger aperture from the f2.4 found on the XS Max, and then a f2.4 ultra wide. So you get optical image stabilization on both the main and the telephoto cameras, but unfortunately you don't get any stabilization or autofocus on the ultra wide camera. So that's a bit unfortunate, but you can get around that with just manually focusing on the screen, etc. But in terms of video quality from all of these cameras, there's plenty of consistency between each lens when you're switching between them with color science and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, quality drops when you're switching between the main and then to the telephoto and the ultra wides. And then of course, in lower light situations, you will see the exposure drop as the aperture reduces on those lenses as well. But in terms of everyday daylight photos, they're really natural, really nice detail, typical iPhone quality. I actually like going back to an iPhone camera just because of how natural everything comes out. And portrait modes, I think iPhones produce some of the best portrait photos that you'll find on a smartphone. And iPhone 11 Pro Max, I would definitely pick this over any new budget Android device in terms of just how the photos look. I've always found that. I've always had that same opinion with iPhone cameras, and it's not changed with iPhone 11 Pro Max. So like I said, main camera shoots some really nice detailed photos, and then the telephoto camera and the ultra wides are the same 12 megapixel resolution, but there will be a slight difference in quality because of the aperture and the amount of detail that gets brought into the lens. And then in terms of video, you get 4K at 60 FPS on the main cameras of iPhone 11 Pro Max. And this is just great video. All of the iPhones, when a new one comes out every year, they seem to be boosted at the top of the ranks when it comes to video quality. And that was definitely the case at the time with iPhone 11 Pro Max. And of course, it's going to be overlooked now by the newer iPhones and some Android devices, but I still think that the photo quality and the video quality of iPhone 11 Pro Max is really, really good. So that's the camera of iPhone 11 Pro Max. I've got no complaints, and it does come with a night mode, which is what they introduced on this 11 series, which they obviously didn't have on the XS series as well. So that's a nice addition. If you're taking some photos with less than ideal lighting conditions, it should help to bring in a little bit more detail and brighten the photo for you. So that, my friends, is my look at the iPhone 11 Pro Max. This is my daily driver, as whatever you want to call it, and it will continue to be my daily phone that I'm going to be using going forward until further notice. But let me know in the comments what you think of this phone. Is it something that you would consider buying in 2022? Do you have this phone or the standard Pro or even a bog standard iPhone 11 or another iPhone that you would pick over this one? Do let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you're notified when I upload new videos. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.